Hello people, my name is Rage, and I hit Legend Ranked. I cannot tell you how happy I am. Unfortunately, I don't have it recorded because I was in super concentration mode, and I just knew if I was recording I'd lose because that's just sod's law, so I do apologize for not getting it on camera. This video, apart from the fact it's here just to tell you I did it, I completed my journey to Legend Ramp. It's a legendary ramp that everyone can glide smoothly up. No, I completed my journey to Legend Rank, and I am just so ecstatic. When I won my final game, which got me into Legend, I jumped around the room, fist pumped the air, and then sat back down because I wanted to play more Hearthstone, and ain't nobody got time to celebrate for that long. But seriously, I really am so happy. It's just been, and every one of you guys on Twitter and stuff, and from the streams, and even on the comments of these videos, who are like, you can do it, Rage, go! It's just been fantastic. I feel like we've got to Legend Ranked instead of just me. Even you guys that were like, Rage, I'll see you back down at rank 7. Well, I'm just glad that I could spite you. So what I thought I'd do for this video is, instead of making a 30-second video going, I got Legend, yay, goodbye, I would show you the two main decks that I used to get to Legend Dank, the legendary sewer called Dank, where the thieves and rogues roam, the mutant crocodiles are plenty, and the acid water will burn your ears. Only your ears, so there you go. Anyway, should probably talk more specifically about Hearthstone. So the two main decks that I used were Murloc Scum. Okay, because it is a scumbag deck, though in my defense it is a much higher skill version of a warlock deck, which hybrids with Murlocs because everyone likes a bit of Murlocs, and then my surprise shaman deck, which I probably played them about 50-50 each. So we will go for my surprise shaman deck first. Yes, indeed. I promised I'd share my decks once I hit Legend, and I'm not going to go back on that. Okay, so we have your normal shaman roster. We got the two Earthshocks, the two lightning bolts, the two rockbiter weapons. You're gonna see them in pretty much every shaman deck. Blood Mage Thalnos, again, a fantastic card. Spell damage, draw a card, all for 2 mana. On 5 mana, Thalnosing into a lightning storm is just a zoo killer, and it's just fantastic. Even if Blood Mage Thalnos lightning bolt on a 4 mana Drake, or a enemy unbound, or other things with 4 health, it just does fantastic. Flame Tongue Totems are absolutely great. If you're toteming a lot earlier, which you are doing for this deck, because it's a super slow, board-controlling control deck that always wins by just having more answers than your opponent does, and they'll eventually run out of cards to play while you're still holding 5 cards ready to deal with anything, so you're going to be toteming a lot early, which gives Flame Tongue a lot of value, especially against Zoo, because they tend to ignore your totem, and then you can put the Flame Tongue down and get value out of your hero power, so it's effectively a no card for a card trade, which is really good efficiency. The Wild Pyro is really nice, the extra damage when you cast a spell. I've had lots of times against Zoo where I've played Wild Pyro on turn 2, and then coined not to play anything else, but to trigger the Wild Pyro and get a few kills. It also is surprising effectively against other decks for just doing a little bit of extra damage per spell. In fact, my best turn, I killed 2 Ancient Watchers, a Twilight Drake, and an Argent Protector in 1 turn with Wild Pyro, Lightning Storm, and Rockbiter against a Handlock, and that was just a haha! Suck it! And I did win that game, so it was awesome. So the Wild Pyro is a very nice card to have in. Now, Farsight is a little bit more of a Farsight, because it's not the best card. I just really like it because every now and then you'll play it and get maybe Alakir for 5 mana, and that just wins you the game, because playing him on 5 mana against anything aggro just shuts them down like a massive iron wall, and it's beautiful. But sometimes you Farsight into a Rockbiter weapon and then hate your life. So honestly, ladies and gentlemen, if you don't have a particular affinity for the card like I do, I'd remove it and maybe put a Stormbound Axe in, Stormforged Axe even, because it's just more consistent against the aggro decks you're going to be facing. 2 Feral Spirits, nothing new, a fantastic card. 2/2 freeze for 3 mana is glorious. Hex is nothing new, counters a lot of control decks. One of the best hand removal in the game. Lightning Storm, again, a fantastic AoE, cheap, and does a respectable amount of damage, especially if you're lucky, a good card. Big Game Hunter is in here specifically to counter Handlock, a deck that I struggle to beat personally. I don't think it's the deck, I just think I'm not that good at beating them. We have Mana Tide, which is a nice draw engine, but 2 is a little bit too slow, but they are generally good against control because they draw you a card on the turn you play them, so you do get immediate value, and they sponge removal, so it's always a 2-for-1 when you play a Mana Tide totem, so they are really good. Unbound, I do like. You could replace 2 Unbounds for 2 Harvest Golems, but I prefer Unbound just because I like the opportunity to buff them up with all the overloads in this deck, but you could certainly make an argument for Harvest Golem, especially if you're facing a lot of aggro. Doomhammer, I love against other control because even without any buffs, it's 16 damage over turns. It's great for peeling away warrior armor, and if you can combo it with Rockbiter, you can do some serious damage. Azure Drake is just fantastic. Draw a card, 4/4 body that counters priest, although you never see a priest these days, and spell damage. It's just perfect for shaman. Agent Commander for some immediate removal. It's useful to have. Fire Elemental, you should not be surprised about that. One of the best shaman cards, and arguably probably the best 6-drop in the game. Kill something and then get a 6/5 body on the board. Khan is interesting. If you're facing a lot of control, I'd say have Khan, but I kind of prefer, and I kept swapping this in and out depending on what I was facing, I kind of prefer Sylvanas in his place. Alakir is fantastic. It does a lot of burst damage when comboed with Flame Tongue or Rockbiter, and is quite a difficult thing to get past for an aggro deck. And then the reason it's called Surprise is because it runs an Alexstrasza instead of, for example, a Ragnaros, which you could replace this with, because suddenly putting them to 15 health or healing up from like 4 health to 15 in a really close top deck war makes all the difference, and I've had a lot of good consistent results with using Alexstrasza. I just wish it was 8 mana, because you can only do one more thing after playing the Alexstrasza. So, there you go everybody, that is my surprise shaman deck that I used. I'm not going to be doing any games this video, just because I'm going to be doing a specific video where I play some games for you at Legend rank, probably with... In fact, what I want to do is make an Angry Chicken deck and then just play it at Legend rank, because as of making this video, there's only 1 day left of the season, so I don't have time to go higher than the 15-0. I actually joined Legend rank at like 1300, but in the time I've just been sat here, I've lost 200 ranks from other people playing, so that's not the best. But yeah, as I don't have time to just work on Legend rank, I'm probably just going to use this opportunity to record some retarded, terrible, but fun decks at Legend ranked for the lolsies, namely an Angry Chicken one. So yes, there we have my surprise shaman deck, and then over here we have Scum, and this deck is ultimate scumbag, just unbelievable scumbag, just so much scum. I hate myself for playing this, but you cannot argue with the results, and I will make the point that this deck is not your typical zoo, because this deck requires a little bit of thought. In fact, this deck is kind of not that good at beating zoo unless you get a fantastic opening hand. Because it runs the Murloc hybrids, it becomes very powerful at dealing with other control decks and other aggro decks that aren't zoo, because if you can get any of the Murloc combos off, you tend to just snowball and win, because it becomes very difficult to deal with. The War Leader is a fine free drop because it's still a free body, but for example, if you can get a Tidehunter, which I think is a fantastic card, without any other Murlocs, I could still see an argument for putting Tidehunter in your deck if you are running an aggro warlock, because the double summon is really fantastic for catching up if you're slightly behind, because they then have to deal with 2 trades instead of just 1. I really like it. But if, for example, turn 1 Murloc Tidecaller, turn 2 Tidehunter, turn 3 War Leader or Cold Light Seer, you have pretty much won the game. It is damn near impossible to get back from that, and then you can fall back onto the backbone of normal zoo creatures that you see, as well as some high-end charges in Old Murkai and Doomguard, and then some burst damage from Soulfire. It really is a very intricate hybrid combo deck that I've had some great results with. King Muckler is fantastic against shamans and rogues who can't get the board control to use the banana, so it's just a free 5/5 for free mana. It really is nice. Mortal Coils, I'm not that happy with Mortal Coils. Honestly, what I would replace Mortal Coils with is, because now you're down to only 2 spells, I would put a Cho in here, and I would put a Young Priestess in. In fact, a Hungry Crab you could also make an argument for, just to abuse your own Murlocs, but it's a little bit gimmicky and not that consistent, so I would honestly play it like this if I had to, ladies and gentlemen. But yes, there's not much to say about this game. You have to make more intelligent decisions, you have to play around things like Blade Flurry, like Consecrate, like Hellfire, like Lightning Storm, and you can do this via the Murlocs. It's not always correct to just attack things and play things. You might want to life tap and hoard up a hand to circumvent AoE. There's a lot of little nuances I have made in this. For example, a rogue puts a dagger out, puts a deadly poison on it, and passes the turn. You've got a Voidwalker and a Flame Imp on the field. Clearly, okay, if she's not using that dagger, she's got a Blade Flurry. So what do I do on turn 3? I play King Muckler. Now she's got 3 or 4 mana, depending on the turn, and she has a 5/5 to deal with. She can't attack it, she has to go through the Voidwalker. So if she Blade Flurries and wastes her weapon, that's her turn basically done, and I've got the 5/2 on the field. Or if she saps King Muckler, then again, that's her turn pretty much done, and then I just play King Muckler next turn, fill her hand, and cause her to burn cards. The amount of times I've burnt an Eviscerate or a Backstab, or even Leroy using this is just incredible. It's really good if you use it at the correct time, though occasionally it can be a dead draw. Lawwalker Cho gets quite a fun results. There's been a point where I've had like 15 armor from back and forth stealing with warrior shield blocks. That was quite amusing, and the rest is fairly explanatory. You do need a lot more thought than normal Zoo, which is just play everything and trade. You have to play things in specifically the right order and constantly think how to best avoid the AoE. That is the key in this deck. So yes, a little bit of a scumbag deck, but you can't argue with the results. It's got like a 70% win ratio. So I am now sorry if everyone, you start seeing a few more Murlocs on the ladder. Just put in some Hungry Crabs in your deck, earn 3 stars. And then another deck I should probably give credit to, because I did play it. These two about maybe 120 games each, and then this one about maybe 30, is my Anti-Hand Rogue, because when I was in rank 4, I was facing a lot of Handlock, a lot of Miracle, and a lot of Control Warrior, and this Rogue deck completely counters them via the use of King Muckler and Cold Light Oracle. There's been turns where I've played King Muckler, filled their hand to 10 cards, played a Cold Light Oracle, drawn 2 more, burnt 2 more for them, and I've just gained 2 more cards. That is crazy hand advantage. Then Shadow Stepped him back, played him again, burnt 2 more cards, and then brought it back. The amount of legendaries, the amount of key cards that you burn, the amount of combos burning Auctioneers, it's just glorious. Then apart from that, it plays like a kind of aggressive early game Rogue that has a lot of removal. It has a Leroy Jenkins finisher because Rogue has to have one, a lot of draw power, and then the Assassin's Blade for some good removal. It really is quite effective, this deck, and it's reasonably consistent. As you can see, there's not many single copies of any cards. It is really neat if you're facing a lot of hand hoarders, the warriors, the miracle rogues, and the handlocks. It really does counter them. Yes, indeed. So there you go, everybody. That is my 3 main decks that have got me to where I am. Honorable mention to Handlock of Fuck Off Zoo. I built a handlock just to win a single game with it because I was annoyed, but really didn't do much with that. And then all of the cards was a little bit of Miracle I did, which I had okay results with, but I kind of fell out with it. And then Legend was a previous Shaman deck I had, which was reasonably good, just not quite as good as the surprise once I added the Alex Straza twist. So there you have it, everybody. They're the decks I made Legend with. This video really is just to tell you that I completed my Legend journey. If you have any questions about any of the decks, for example, ask them in the comments. I will try and reply to as many as I can. And yes, there you go. In my opinion, by the way, playing the Shaman deck is a lot more fun, but they're longer games, and playing this can have some really quite amusing situations. In fact, let me tell you the story of the game that got me to Legend ranked. I had full board control, some taunted up minions, everything was fine. I was facing a handlock, the handlock was on free health, he was desperate, he plays a free Molten Giant, taunts it up, and that's about it. And I'm like, yes, I've got this, I can bash through the giant and kill him, I'm gonna be Legend ranked, yes! And what do? My turn starts, the first thing I do is press end turn and give it past to him. He plays an Ancient Warder, Shadow Flames him, clears my board, hits me, puts me to 1 HP. I am crying. I am so upset. I'm so mad with myself. How could I throw away this victory? I just want to throw something. I'm hovering over concede. It gets to my turn. The draw comes. It's a Soulfire. And I win with it to the face for 4 damage. I have never gone from upset to the happiest ever in such a short period of time before. It was a roller coaster. But there you go, everybody. My journey to Legend is complete. Come on, let's have a like for finally making it to that coveted legend rank and getting my swaggy card backs forevermore. Yes, indeed. My name has been Rage. Remember to subscribe for more. I will see you all next time for some hijinks in Legend, most likely. A good... In fact, let me know if you want to see these decks in action, because I could do that as well. But yes, a good boy. You've been watching